It's been a recurring topic in the past conversations this week, so I thought I would also talk about it here. It's this, the question, basically the question was, can we learn and grow without suffering? Because we often say that we're grateful for all the struggle we went through, all the pain we experienced, because it taught us something. And of course, in a way, it's true, but it's not exactly like the pain that taught us something. It's our capacity to do something with the pain that made it, in a way, worth it. And the reason why I wanted to talk about it is also because sometimes, like if we stick to this idea without awareness, it also leads to justifying that we hurt each other. It's like, it's okay, or I don't like this expression, but we can tolerate, or we can think it's normal that some people suffer, because through their suffering they will learn something just like we did. So it's this thing that if it was hard for me, then it has to be hard for someone else, because it was hard for me and I learned something good out of that, so it will be hard for them and they will learn something good out of that. So sometimes it's like justifying the fact that we tolerate that there is so much suffering, because we grow through the suffering, and it's like this ego thing that a little more pain and you'll be a better person. And you can be a good person without suffering at all. It's nothing to do with that. So I think it's good to be cautious when we just to be aware of why we tell ourselves or tell others that we're so grateful for all the pain that we went through. I'm extremely privileged, and I get to be coached almost every week by Christy Marico, who is an extremely talented coach and also a very dear friend of mine. And we were having this conversation, and then she recalled a personal anecdote where she said that she was grateful that she got fired from her job, because then it got her to start her own company. And a friend of her was like, well, hold on a minute, you started the company. It's like maybe the fact of not having a job anymore kind of accelerated the process, but you're the one who did it. And I think it's really, really important to remember that you are the person who did something good out of your suffering. Some people suffer and they don't know how to, don't have the capacity or the will to transform it into something good. And some people don't suffer at all, and they also know how to make something good out of it, or they just don't do anything out of it, and it doesn't teach them so much. So it's not this thing that if you suffer enough, then you'll be spiritual enough. It's nothing to do with that. And so really remember the role that you played in transforming the suffering into something good. And I really, really believe I have learned a lot from my suffering, because I did the work. I did the work, and I did the work with so many other people. It's not like I just not did it all by myself. I was supported. I met incredible people. I read books. I did well. So it's all like a collective effort. The ego can really trick us into suffer a little more and you'll be a better person. No, it's not necessary. It's the same for work. You don't need to work 24/7 to have a business that works well. It's like more pain doesn't mean more gain. Like really, it doesn't. And we can learn so much if you look at people who are very attuned to nature. They don't suffer. That this is a very gross general thing. If you observe people who have a strong relationship with nature, oftentimes they live a very simple life, and they're also pretty happy. And they've learned that not through immense amounts of suffering, but just because they were attuned to their inner world and to the outer world, and they felt they were part of that and they belonged. And they've learned through pretty joyful moments. So it's also really possible. And so just be aware of the reason why you use this sentence, and if you're justifying something with it, or if you're using it to make sense out of your experience, and recognize your part of work in the process.